Welcome to Season of the Haunted. You've come to the right place to learn how Season of the Haunted works. Buckle in and get ready for some information. Okay, let's make it quick. I'm Darth Toasted Ghosts. I make guide videos for War from Destiny 2. And if you think that's cool and haven't subscribed yet, then subscribe. It is free and you can hit the bell to know when I upload. Also, if my mic sounds too bassy in this video or something, I don't know. I've been trying to mess around with it and see what's going on with that. But let's start. First, I'm going to go over the synopsis of the season with some brief story catch-up for people who are unaware of what's going on. Then go into the activity containment and the castelum. Then go into the weekly activity sever. Then I'll be talking about Sword 3.0 for a quick minute. Then go over artifact mods. Then go over loot, go over seasonal upgrades, and finish off with how to grind all this stuff and what's the main goal for the season. So buckle in for the tidal weight of information. To start with, the story. There will be two parts, a catch-up section and the story for the season that's going on right now as of week 1. So there will be a time on screen, and if you're caught up with Callus and what is going on with the moon and who is haunting each character, then I suggest skipping to that time. And we're going to start right now for the recap. First, starting from the Red War, we kill Gary, the leader of the Red Legion. There's one of the adventures on Nessus that references the Cabal Emperor trying to make wine out of a planet, and then Leviathan, Callus's giant party ship. He's the Cabal Emperor. He was exiled by Gol and the Red Legion, and Leviathan comes into the system, and we do the raid. We, fight Callus, realize he's a robot, and we basically become his little guardian friend. He gives us loot because we, helped him from getting rid of some stuff on his ship. For example, Argos and, there's his name, and killing Galwan. Galwan was supposed to be this Cabal specifically made to have the Crown of Sorrow, a hive artifact that possessed them, and we had to clean that up. The reason Callus did this is because he wanted a hive commander. Cuts the moon. Eris interacted with the pyramid inside the moon, which is the first we saw in game, and some of the nightmares basically Guardian PTSD, unless that Guardian is us, and then it just sends our past enemies for us to kill again. For example, Tannix. Anyways, we go into the pyramids, you talk with your doppelganger who's a voice of the witness, by this time we did not know. End of Shadowkeep. And Presage has a little piece in this, so Callus' ship has all these plants. It is the same stuff as the stuff from Presage or Presage, and I think I'm not too versed in the lore, but Callus is in this darkness dimension area kind of thing, and that's basically it. And the stories of the season is basically everyone's haunted. We bound ourselves to the Crown of Sorrow. Saval's haunted by his wife. Kaido's haunted by Gol. And Crow's haunted by Aldrin. And so we're trying to sever these nightmares, just deal with Callus and all that stuff. This is week 1, so we don't know much of what's going to happen next. But week 2 is coming up, so we'll see more. Okay, going through containment in the castelum. First, the castelum. This is the main area where you spawn in, and it'll be the area for nightmare containment. In the castelum, and by extension Leviathan, you can do patrols with like normal patrols, and a cool fact, you can get patrols that have, where you scan the object with the ghost little symbol, and you get from frame controlled by Callus, and you get some Callus dialogue, which is really cool. There are also some chests, resource nodes, each giving you the seasonal currency, Vestiges of Dread, and ranking up for the season vendor. There are also special chests that need an opulent key, and if you inspect it, it gives you a location. It gives you a general location, like for example royal pools, and its specific location, like where the water used to fall. There are also many other things in the castelum to do, but these are the main things. Now I'll get right into the thing you're here for, containment. Containment is the activity for the season you can access from the castelum. It starts with you rallying, then you start it, you then go into the first tier. This contains killing dreadbearers, it drops orbs of dread. Using the orb, you dunk it at the Nightmare Harvester, creating one scythe. How the scythe works is you can do a 4 combo with left click, there's a right click attack, you can do air attack with left click, and when killing enemies, it summons an orb of +2 restoration. Okay, so back into the activity. After you dunk the orbs of dread, you go into a second phase where you need to kill these yellow bar scions that when killed summon the scion bubbles where you have to melee the scion inside. For people who play Leviathan should be familiar with that. Then you go back to killing dreadbearers and dunking orbs. Then you go to the boss for that tier, which is literally hit for that amount of damage. It goes immune. He destroys the pyramid things. If you play Witch Queen campaign, you should know what these things look like. And then you basically just kill the boss. This repeats for tier 2. And then now you go to the final boss after tier 2. The final boss starts off with you deploying the Nightmare Harvester, starting the fight. As of week 1, it is the Machinist, and we do not know any future bosses, but I guess we're assuming there's more. It's Destiny, they always rotate things. It starts now with you doing enough damage for the boss to become immune. You destroy more pyramid things to kill, and then you kill the emissaries, you get out of the immune phase, and you kill the boss. Do that like twice. And also during the immune phase, there'll be nightmares with orbs of dread that you can dunk. Now the weekly missions Sever, these are weekly story pieces. Right now we are at Separating Crow's Nightmare, Aldrin, and I won't spoil what happens. So that's basically Sever. They're just weekly mission activities that give story. People who played seasonal rivals are pretty familiar with this. At the end, you can open a chest for 1 bound presents and get a piece of loot. Now, I've talked about the activities. Now I'm going to talk about Solar 3.0 for a second. Solar 3.0, the sequel to Solar 3.0, the sequel to Solar. Starting off with the general stuff, the buffs are Radiant, which makes you do more damage, Restoration, heals you over time, and Cure also heals you in like a moment. The debuffs are Scorch, which makes enemies take burn damage, and when stacked up will ignite enemies and causes them to explode. The grenades, first the healing one, is a new one, and now all grenades is for all classes. Yes, Hunter can use healing grenade. There's Thermite, which makes a wall of fire. Incendiary grenade is like a regular flag grenade. Solar grenade is like the Void Vortex grenade. Swarm grenade is a grenade that swarms enemies with little mini grenades. Fusion grenade is a sticky grenade. Firebolt grenade is the one that, those little heat-seeking thingies. And there's the healing grenade, which gives you restoration. You have the fragments, and like Void 3.0, you can buy the grenades and fragments from Ikora. So starting with Titans. Yep, Titans literally became God if you have Lordly Splendor and a couple of things. Their melees are Hammer Strike and Throwing Hammer. Hammer Strike is the Titan melee that you sprint and then you press the melee button. Throwing Hammer is a hammer that you throw and pick up when it bounces off, and if not picked up, it explodes. Now the fragments, Soul Invictus, using your solar abilities, you create a sunspot. This sunspot can regenerate you. This is the stuff that breaks the game. Consecration is when you slide and use the charge melee. Use a wave of solar energy, and then while in the air, you can slam down. Roaring Flame increases damage from abilities when you kill enemies with your solar abilities. These supers are the regular Hammer of Soul. You throw hammer, and it just goes kaboom, and burning them all. The big hammer. Now Hunters, first there's a new dodge called Acrobat's Dodge, which when used will make you and people around you radiant. The melees are Knife Trick. You throw 3 knives that scorch on hit. Weighted Knife, the one-shot knife, one-shot in Crucible, that brings back your melee. Lightweight Knife, a regular knife, and when a precision kill will make you radiant. Proximity Knife, which makes your knife into a proximity mine. And now we're going to talk about aspects. On your mark gives you better weapon handling and reload speed for getting precision kills and activating your class ability. And activating your class ability will immediately grant 3 stacks, or basically the max buff. Knock them down as a few things, 1 for each super. Golden Gun Deadshot has increased duration, Golden Gun Marksman has increased duration, and damage reduction, and Blade Barrage throws more knives. Now this is where it gets pretty powerful. When Radiant, final blows with their throwing knife refunds your melee. If you combine this with Ember Torches, you can throw more knives, which is pretty fun. I use this build. Anyways, for Warlocks, they moved Phoenix Dive into the class ability tab, and when you use it, it gives you and your teammates Cure, and when you use Heat Rises, you gain Restoration and Scorch enemies. The melees are Incinerator Snap, or snap, incinerate enemies. Yay! Celestial Fire shoots out 3 explosive solar energy blasts. The aspects, Heat Rise allow you to eat your grenade and basically fly, and Icarus Dash allows you to dash while Heat Rise is active. You gain another dash. Pretty cool. The supers are Well of Radiance, which creates a healing well, and Daybreak is when you literally become an AC-130 and you hear the screams of the victims as you murder them with fire. You hear all their screams. Okay, now, whereas come with Solar 3.0, they've also removed some things. It's some kind of sad news. So can we give an RIP for playing with fire? Yeah, hunters are crying across the world when they remove that. You're the best perk for the Blade Barrage class. I'm not going to go into builds in this video, but if you want to see some, I kind of want to make some, then subscribe, hit the bell to know when I upload. Now, time to go into the artifact. First column, barrier sidearm, overload SMG, / auto rifle, unstoppable scout, unstoppable glaive, and barrier pulse. The second column is shotgun holster, trace rifle ammo, binder, nightmarish opulence, which improves Witch Queen's and Season of the Haunted's origin perk, pulse rifle targeting, and sidearm holster. Third row is shotgun dex, trace rifle reserves, unquenchable thirst, which also increases the effects up to 2 excess perk, and soul drinker from Valve the Disciple. Armor of the Dying Star gives you void and solar resistance, and sidearm dex is the final mod of that column. So now the fourth row is overload trace rifle, revitalizing blast, which when a champion is stunned, it ignites and clears your shield stun. Withering heat causes champions to weaken when hit with solar abilities. Molten overload allows solar grenades to stun overloads, and glaive of dreams makes your glaives do more damage with the unstable essence buff and doubles its duration. Fifth column has classy restoration, which gives restoration when activating your solar abilities. Radiant orbs makes you radiant from picking up orbs of light. Razor precision makes enemies ignite with solar precision damage. Flame harvesting makes solar exotic final blows, drop solar wells, and solar fulmination makes ignitions do more damage and have more radius. So losing the mods, make some builds when you get them. Definitely, grind bounties, grind the challenges, because these are going to be some fun mods. Now I want to talk about loot. First, we have the opulent loot. You have Austringer, an adaptive 140 RPM hand cannon. You have Drang Baroque, a sidearm, which you can combo with Exotic Sturm. It's another hand cannon. Callus mini tool, an SMG that gives a buff for Meta multi-tool if you're using it. And Beloved, a 90 RPM sniper. Haunted Gear has Hollow Denial, a trace rifle, Bump in the Night, a rocket launcher, Tears of Contrition, a scout rifle, Nezarek's Whisper, a glaive. Yes, I just heard the collective squeal of Lord Nerds, me included here in the name Nezarek. Then we have Firefright, an auto rifle, and Without Remorse, a shotgun. There is the seasonal armor, it's on screen, and now the dungeon gear. Fixed odds, a machine gun, the Epicurean, a fusion rifle, Lingering Dread, a grenade launcher, New Purpose, a pulse rifle, Storm Tracer, a linear fusion rifle that fires a 3-round burst. That's a new weapon, and that's a new thing that they did. Made a linear fusion rifle that fires a 3-round burst. And Unforgiven, an SMG. There's also the Dungeon Armor and Heart Shadow, an exotic Void Sword. The Dungeon Armor is on the screen. Haven't gotten Heart Shadow yet. Now, the seasonal upgrades, these have 3 rows. The first one's about Sever and Opulent loot. The second one deals with Vestiges of Dread. The third row is about focusing and Opulent energy. You can get these upgrades by using Figments of Darkness, which are obtained by doing the weekly challenges and ranking up the Crown of Sorrow. So, finally, how to grind the season and what is the goal of the season. First, grind Vestiges of Dread to get loot by doing containment and stuff on the Leviathan. Try getting the upgrades that focus on Vestiges so you can, grind more Vestiges. For example, there's one that if you do bounties from the Crown of Sorrow, it gives you Vestiges. You can use the Vestiges to get more loot from the Harvester, and you get the chance to get Bound Presences, which you can get some loot from Sever. And most likely thing you want and the whole goal of the season is probably just to get the red border weapons, the versions of the weapons that have red borders with the deep sight resonance, so you can make them the craftable ones and just make the god rolls. Literally, that's basically everyone's goal. Just create the cool weapons, or just Beloved and Austringer. I think the people are just going to dismantle red weapons that are just not Beloved and Austringer, because literally no point. We've peaked. Crafting has peaked. We can craft Beloved and Austringer. There's no point. We've crafted the best guns of the game. Now that was Season of the Haunted for Destiny 2, The Witch Queen, and if this video is helpful, then like and subscribe if you think my content's good, and hit that subscribe button and notification button to know when I upload. If you want to watch more of my content, then click on the video on screen. Have a good day. Bye.